I didn't mean it as anything serious. It came out during one of those quiet evenings where conversation drifts into nonsense. We were sitting on the couch, the TV playing something neither of us was really watching. My hand rested on the curve of my stomach, still strange to think about sometimes. He had been staring at it for a while. Not in a worried way, just thoughtful. I smiled and nudged him lightly. What? He shrugged. Just thinking. About? About how everything's about to change. There was warmth in his voice when he said it, the kind that usually made me feel safe. So I laughed a little and said the first stupid thing that popped into my head. Well, maybe the baby isn't even yours. I said it with a grin, light, teasing. But the second the words left my mouth, I saw his face change. Not dramatically. No anger, no shouting. Just stillness. The kind where someone suddenly stops moving. Because something inside them is trying to process what they just heard. I felt it immediately. Oh my God, I said quickly, laughing again, but weaker this time. Relax, I'm kidding. He didn't answer right away. His eyes stayed on me, searching in a way I had never seen before. Then he nodded slowly. Right, he said. The word sounded neutral. Too neutral. He turned his attention back to the TV, but he wasn't really watching it anymore. Neither was I. For the rest of the night, conversation moved in short pieces, small practical things. What we needed from the grocery store, whether the doctor's appointment was Thursday or Friday, normal words, but something underneath them had shifted. I tried to brush it off. People make stupid jokes all the time. Couples tease each other. It wasn't a confession. It wasn't even serious. Still, the look on his face stayed with me. The next morning, he kissed my forehead before leaving for work like he always did. But the kiss felt careful. Over the next few days, I noticed little changes. Nothing dramatic. If someone else looked at us, they'd think everything was normal. But the way he looked at me had changed. Not accusing. Not hostile. Just thoughtful. Like he had started examining something that had never crossed his mind before. That was the worst part. One evening, while we were cooking dinner, he finally brought it up again, calmly. You remember what you said the other night? My stomach tightened. The joke? I asked. He nodded. I know you said it jokingly. I did. I believe that. But he paused before continuing. I just wish you hadn't said it. I leaned against the counter. It was stupid, I admitted. I didn't think. He looked down at the cutting board while slicing vegetables. It's not that I think you cheated. There was a quiet honesty in his voice. But the second you said it, my brain had to consider the possibility. He set the knife down. And once your brain goes there, it's hard to pretend it didn't. I didn't know what to say. Because he wasn't angry. If he had been angry, I could have defended myself, argued, cried. But calm disappointment is harder to fight. A few days passed. Then one evening he sat across from me at the kitchen table with the same quiet seriousness. I scheduled a paternity test. For a moment I thought I misheard him. What? It's not about accusing you, he said quickly. I just need to close that door. The words landed heavier than yelling ever could. You don't trust me? He exhaled slowly. I did, completely. The past tense slipped into the sentence almost accidentally. And maybe I still do, he added. But now there's this thought sitting in my head that wasn't there before. I stared at the table. I hate that it's there. Neither of us spoke for a while. Eventually I nodded. Okay. Because arguing wouldn't erase the sentence I'd already said. The appointment came 2 weeks later. A quiet medical office. White walls. A nurse explaining the procedure like it was routine. To them it probably was. For us it felt like standing inside the consequence of a single careless moment. The waiting period afterward was worse. We still lived together, ate together, planned baby things together. But something between us had become cautious. Like both of us were aware that trust isn't just built over time. It can also be cracked in a second. When the results finally arrived, he opened the envelope slowly. His eyes scanned the paper. Then he let out a long breath. "It's mine." Of course it was. I never doubted that, but neither of us celebrated. He folded the paper carefully and set it on the table. The room stayed quiet. After a moment, he reached for my hand. "I'm sorry," he said. "For what?" "For needing proof." I shook my head slightly. "No," I said. My voice felt smaller than usual. "That part's on me." Because the truth was simple. Trust hadn't been broken by cheating. It had been cracked open by a joke that never should have existed. And even though the test closed the question, the memory of that moment on the couch still lingered between us, not as anger, just as a reminder of how easily certainty can change once doubt is spoken out loud.